Hey everyone, and welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm Chrisley Kennedy, and this is a show where we're going to bring you the day's biggest movie news with insight into what it all means. And the boss is out of the office today, so when the boss is away, the girls will play.
Hey-o!
We have Associate Editor of AMC Movie News, Amy Rose Eisenbach today, my fill-in boss.
Hey guys, it's been so long since we've been on a show together, Chrisley.
It's been a really long time.
I've missed you, girl.
Long time. John's still in Vegas, so we are going to start today with this. The biggest movie news to come out of CinemaCon this week is that Disney CEO Alan Horn announced that they are going to release a new Star Wars film every summer after the release of Episode 7 in the summer of 2015. They will be alternating between a major Star Wars episode and then a various single character spin-off the next year and so on. Amy Rose, what do you think of the Star Wars news?
Obviously, my first response is, woohoo! And then I think about it and, you know, Disney has really... I have a lot of confidence in them, what they've done with the Marvel franchise and just everything to date. So I really think that, A, this is number one, so exciting above everything else. Number two, I just hope that they do it right so it doesn't become diluted. I mean, number one, more Star Wars all the time, let's do this. But I just hope that they really take the time and the love and attention to details by expanding the universe into these other episodes, that it doesn't become diluted. I mean, a lot of the standalone films, I mean, we've heard Boba Fett, Han Solo, Skywalker, maybe they'll do an Ewok story, whatever. I mean, there's so many different cool stories that they could tie back into the episodes and standalone films. So, number one, I'm really excited. I just hope that they aren't so concentrated on rushing it, that they don't really just make it a really in-depth and beautiful universe like we know in that galaxy far, far away.
You can never have enough Star Wars.
Just do it right is all I'm asking.
Give me some Yoda. All right.
Oh yeah, Yoda needs his own standalone film.
Absolutely.
Like, not even a question.
I'll be first in line for that one. 2 new international trailers and a poster have been released for the Nicholas Winding Refn drama, Only God Forgives, starring Ryan Gosling and Kristen Scott Thomas. The story centers around Julian, played by Gosling, a drug smuggler thriving in Bangkok's criminal underworld, who sees his life get even more complicated when his mother, played by Thomas, compels him to find and kill whoever is responsible for his brother's recent death. Amy Rose? I don't even know where to go on that one.
I am so excited for this. I think the trailers are a piece of art in itself. Like, Nicholas Winding Refn is one of the best and underrated directors out there today. I mean, most people, sure, maybe Drive put him on the map for them more, and I love his style. It is so detailed and calculated and dark, and every shot means something. Everything is calculated, and he gets the best performances out of his actors. And obviously Gosling and Refn work beautifully well together on Drive, and you know, that was an homage to old classic horror films, oh my God, action films. And Only God Forgives has a really dark, cool, mysterious vibe to it. And I really like seeing Kristen Scott Thomas in a much edgier role.
Yeah.
She looks like she's super manipulative, like a lot of mothers. And it just looks like it's gonna be magic. And the poster is awesome.
That poster is brutal.
Brutal.
It's brutal.
And awesome. And
yeah.
I mean, that's the thing about Refn, is that it's so lifelike and real and raw. And this is definitely in my like top 5 most anticipated films. I am so excited about this, and the trailer's a work of art. Obviously, trailers sometimes can be misleading because you can have because you can have the best trailer and then the movie's like, what? Or you see the best scenes and then it doesn't hold up. But in the case of Refn, that's not the case. He's just one of the best filmmakers out there today, and he's just got such an eye, and I'm just so excited for this. So I think it's going to be amazing.
And I really like Gosling in the grittier roles.
Oh yeah,
Seeing
he's
a lot more
really
of that.
good at that role.
With the newest reveal of the awesome Man of Steel trailer, which was by far my favorite trailer yet, some new concept art has also been revealed showcasing Superman and General Zod. Amy Rose, what do you think of the concept art?
Come to mama. Like, this Man of Steel could not be released soon enough. I am so excited for this. And I mean, sure, I talk a lot about how much I love Nolan, but I really do think Snyder is just the master of effects. He's got such a cool tone that he sets to his films. Even if the plot isn't as strong, visually, it's always beautiful. And I think the two of them together is really going to be magic. And I mean, everything I've seen about General Zod, I know that that promotional video that Warner Brothers released, John was kind of talking about how he doesn't always like the hokey stuff, but I love it. I love when a studio releases something not covered in branding, where it lets the characters stand alone on their own in all their glory, talking about the plot and the twisted, crazy stuff we're going to expect. And I think Michael Shannon as General Zod's going to be awesome. And the trailer was so good. More Krypton. We saw all the main characters. I think Henry Cavill's going to be great. And I mean, talk about the first concept art piece with Superman like this. I mean, it's just so good. I love everything I've seen about this movie. Let's hurry up and see it.
Yeah, the trailer gave me goosebumps and almost made me want to cry. Like, it was that good. And the concept art's cool. Yeah. While Michael Bay was promoting his new movie Pain and Gain at CinemaCon, he also revealed that actor Stanley Tucci has joined the cast of Transformers 4 and that he'll be shooting the film on a new IMAX camera in native 3D. Amy Rose, what do you think of all this Transformer news?
Michael Bay, I'm not the biggest fan. I do think he kind of sold out a long time ago. I'm not going to lie. With that said, Pain and Gain looks really fun and entertaining to me. I love the cast, and I'm really looking forward to it. So maybe you do have a couple more tricks up your sleeve, Bay. In terms of Transformers, I mean, it's hard for me to really be excited about this, even though, sure, it's a fun, mindless, good time. But I just, you know, he was always like, I'm done with the trilogy, and then he comes back and sells out and whatever. And sure, if you send truckloads of money to someone, things change a little bit. But I don't really think he's scarce in that department anyway. But I don't know, Stanley Tucci to me is one of the best, most diverse actors out there today. I mean, even The Lovely Bones, with a lot of people didn't love that, he was so amazing and terrifying in that movie. Yeah. And even The Hunger Games, he's hilarious in that role. He's
Easy
he's amazing.
The funniest father in the world in that
movie.
He's
so good in everything he does. As Devil Wears Prada. So this does intrigue me. This really does. I like Wahlberg. Nicola Peltz is hot as hell. So I do think that for a skeptic like me, when I first heard about all this Transformers news happening, that these are steps to make me a little more excited. Now, the native IMAX 3D part is, again, I think a step in the right direction. I'm not a big fan of the post-conversion 3D. Most of the time it doesn't work. I like 3D with depth, like Avatar, you know, and a lot of the times it works, but a lot of times it doesn't. In this case, if he does it native IMAX 3D, it's gonna be really crisp and fun, and I definitely think that Bay is taking precautions to make this film as good as he possibly can, so we'll see how it unfolds.
I'm not a fan of 3D. Huge fan of Transformers. I actually liked all of them for what they are.
Girl.
For what they are, I liked all of them. I grew up with Transformers. I can't wait for another one. And I love that Stanley Tucci's joining. So I just wanted to throw my 2 cents
step in the right direction.
Sony has just confirmed that a 21 Jump Street 2 is coming and will hit in 2014 with Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill reprising their roles as Janko and Schmidt. Amy Rose, are you happy about this news?
Yes! Oh, that movie was funny. That was the movie that convinced me that Channing Tatum is really good at comedy. Yeah. I mean, Jonah Hill kind of always plays the same role. Sure, Moneyball showed a little more of his range, but he's just kind of always that dope-eyed, funny guy, and like he's likable, but he's not like my favorite comedic actor. But I love Channing Tatum, and I think the two of them have really good chemistry together, and I thought that was seriously one of the most underrated funny comedies. I mean, a lot of people saw it and it started building up steam, but initially, I loved it. It made a lot of money. It doesn't surprise me that a sequel is coming, but I'm really happy. I thought they were great together, and I can't wait to see the new adventure.
I know, I'm ready. No more prom. Let's see what's next. Rob Zombie is introducing his new film for the Lords of Salem at the AMC Burbank 16 tonight for the 10 p.m. showing, with our very own associate editor Amy Rose moderating the Q&A after the film with Rob and cast. Are you excited?
I am excited. It's going to be a good time. if any of you are in the Burbank or LA area, you should come on down. 10 p.m. showing. We're going to have Rob Zombie and cast and crew, and I've already seen the film. It's weird and awesome in true Rob Zombie fashion, and if you're a fan of his films, I think you're going to enjoy this. Come on down. And I actually had the chance to sit down with him last week and just kind of talk about the film, and we're going to play a couple minutes of that for you now. The Lords of Salem, creepy. Yes. It kind of felt like a Rosemary's Baby flair with a Rob Zombie edge. Will you kind of describe how you got the premise?
The premise came about in a very ridiculous way. I was at a wedding in Massachusetts, and you know, as always, weddings are pretty boring, so you got to find something to keep your mind occupied. And I bought a book on the Salem witch trials in the lobby of the hotel I was staying at, and I just was sort of it was small, and I was carrying it around me, reading it at the wedding, and just stay awake. And that inspired it. It was just reading, you know, I mean, I grew up in Massachusetts, so I knew about the witch trials, but I didn't really remember the facts. Not that any of them made it into the film, really. I kind of, you know, ran away with it, but yeah, that's what brought it up.
Great. Well, you've definitely put your lovely wife through a lot of hell, to say the least.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad for her.
Do you now? Now, what do you think makes her such a magnetic actress? Because I really think she has something special, and you two obviously make it come alive on screen.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say, really. I think for this role, what I liked was I needed somebody who, I mean, the role was about somebody who is a public person. She's a DJ, supposed to be funny and pretty and wacky and crazy, but then in real life is sort of a depressed, lonely, isolated person. And you needed the contrast between those two worlds. And I knew that just how she is in real life, that she kind of gets thrown into doing these things, and she's very uncomfortable and uneasy being looked at and photographed, but would rather just be away from it all, that she could, without even telling her that she would play that dynamic. And she photographs great, so that's one of the main things for movies.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Now, this film, compared to some of your other films, this was a much more of a psychological mind torture.
Mind F torture.
Yeah. Now, how would you describe just the tone? Obviously, you're a musician, right?
Yeah.
And the anthem for the Lords of Salem was really, really creepy. Now, how would you say that you being a musician, how do you play up the tone and the atmosphere of a horror film to really play into the audience's hands?
Well, it was, when we were making the movie, it's kind of an odd movie because it's very slow paced on purpose, because that was the only way to sort of just make the weird atmosphere start taking over. But on set when we were shooting, you know, a lot of times people would be like, why, what are we doing? Like, they just felt like, why are we taking so long to dolly towards that door at the end of the hall? So I would then play the music for the camera guys, and then they go, oh, I get it. Because it, you know, now it makes sense when it's all edited together, but like for Sherry, she'd be like, why am I walking down this hallway so slow? This feels so stupid, because the hallway wasn't that long. But when you add, you know, so the music becomes such a major component of that, and that was really, you know, all the atmosphere came from the music, really.
Now, yesterday we ran an exclusive clip with Rob talking about the theatrical experience. So, Amy Rose, what are your thoughts on that theatrical experience?
I really love what he said, and like, I know that technology is getting so much better, and people can really set up the most impressive home theater, you know, right in their home and all that good stuff. But to me, the theatrical experience is magic. You go into the theater, you get your popcorn, you sit in a dark room with a bunch of strangers, and it's the experience, the previews, everything, that huge screen and the seats, and like just feeling the energy of those around you. And certain films you need an audience, like Evil Dead. Evil Dead was so much fun to see in an audience setting, and I just feel like, sure, the comfort of our home is great, but the magic of the experience is never going to be diminished. I feel that same way about live music. I went to Coachella this weekend, which was great. And, you know, while music, producing and the methods of all that are really changing and evolving, how could they not, just with the way music is accessible and stolen and all this good stuff. It's not the same anymore, but there is no substitute for live music. Yeah. There's no substitute for a live experience in a film, and that's kind of how I feel about both of them. Sure, I want it on me at all times, in my car, on my iPod, but live music where you feel the energy and the raw expression of it and all the talent, there's no substitute for it, and I feel that way about the movie experience. So I'm really excited tonight. Hope to see some of you lovely people there for the Rob Zombie flick. Great. Well, we picked out a couple questions, didn't we, Miss Crystalline?
We did. Mailbag time.
Mailbag time. So what you got? Which one sparked your attention?
This guy's a man after my own heart. Vincent C. writes in, hey guys, I've been watching the show for about a month now and you've got me hooked. The topic I want to bring up was on the modern books to movies trend that was sparked by Harry Potter, one of my favorite movies of all time. That's what I said, not Vincent. Back to Vincent. HP was, in my opinion, the best of the conversions as far as overall acting and general focus on the books as the basis for the movies. But then you get to Beautiful Creatures, which, as someone who read the books, was one of the worst hack jobs I've ever seen, though the acting was very good. My question is twofold. First, what are your thoughts on Beautiful Creatures as a book-to-movie franchise? And second, what is your take on the upcoming Mortal Instruments series?
Thanks for the question, Vincent.
Lot to cover.
Yeah, okay. First off, Harry Potter is awesome. I too read the books. I loved the movies. I thought the acting was great. I thought the world was wonderful. I really, really liked those. And I do like how progressively got darker. It started off kid-friendly and then got a little terrifying. Voldemort is pretty scary. Let's not kid around. Beautiful Creatures, I did not read the books, but the movie was so bad. I wanted to love it. I love magic and witches and adventures and all of that stuff, and I just thought it was so cheesy. And you're right, the acting was intact. It was the script, although their accents were pretty awful too, pretty cheeseball. But it's a shame because I don't know. I heard the books were really, really good, so it's a shame when it doesn't translate. Now, Mortal Instruments, another book series I did not have the chance to read, but it looks really dark and cool from the first trailer that I saw. And it definitely, like, while, you know, all these phenomenons, well, that was hard to get out, phenomenons, book to film, you know, the Twilights, the Hunger Games of the world, people can't help but compare a book series to that if it's kind of the same demo. But Mortal Instruments, everything I've seen and read about it, looks much darker. And it seems like another cool premise of different worlds and magic and crazy stuff like that. So I'm really intrigued with it. In terms of if it's going to hold up from the book, I didn't read it, so I really don't have an opinion on that. But from what I've seen, I think it's going to be a good adaptation. You let me know after you see it, since you have read it.
Yeah, it's always tough when books go to movies because your imagination paints a picture that the director doesn't always give you. So.
Very rarely is a movie going to be as good as a book because, again, our imagination is the most beautiful, endless sea of dreams. And when you put it to the big screen, sometimes it doesn't translate. But a lot of times they can do a pretty stellar job. So
yeah, Vincent's right. Harry Potter was one of the best.
Really, really amazing. Yeah.
Anna J. writes, hi guys, love the show. I watch it every day. Thank you, Anna. My question is, considering the success of the Hunger Games, do you think studios would capitalize on this success by releasing more dystopian film, similar to what happened when Twilight was popular? And if they did, would they look for more dystopian young adult books to adapt? Or will they use the opportunity to remake some adaptations of classic dystopian books such as 1984 or Fahrenheit 451? I myself would love to see a remake of Fahrenheit 451. Thoughts? Keep up the good work. I love Fahrenheit 451. Yeah,
great question, Anna. I loved Fahrenheit 451, and I think it lends itself really well to a book. And I do think that this is a trend. I mean, utopia can be so overrated. We like to see people that are real and, you know, going through their own struggles, and I think that's why Hunger Games was such a success, because it did show this darker side of humanity. And just, you know, after the big, not apocalypse, whatever happened to their world, I read those books so long ago, but it just showed a different part of humanity, and we don't always want butterflies and rainbows. We want to see that darker side of it as well. So I do think that they should continue on this path. I'm super intrigued with it. And Fahrenheit 451, I'm kind of surprised they haven't made a movie about that already. That was such an amazing book. So, hey, maybe we'll plant the seed now, Anna.
Love to see that movie remade.
Me too.
Okay. Andrew Ortiz writes, I'm a big fan of the show. I watch it every day. Thank you, Andrew. Do you think there's a chance that they can make a new Back to the Future movie? Please?
Andrew, yeah, great question. I do think so. I mean, that is one of the most beloved franchises of all time. So classic, so awesome. All of them. I liked all of them. And I do think that in the theme of constantly remaking and reimagining all these classic films and franchises, that it could happen, and I'm pretty sure it probably will. I don't think it will happen anytime soon, but when news hits, I'm not going to be surprised at all. And I mean, those are some pretty iconic roles to fill. Michael J. Fox's Doc's role.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be tough, and I don't know if they would just try to remake it verbatim or if it would be a new Back in the Future film. And I mean, things could be kind of lost in that way. So, or maybe it's their child, or like, you know, it could be a bunch of different variety, but I really hope we see more Back to the Future films, because that would be awesome. Well, that's it for today, guys. Thanks for joining us for the ladies show while the boss is away. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel in John's absence. I'm going to do this for you.
Yeah.
Follow us on Twitter. Like our Facebook page. And again, if you're in Burbank tonight, come check it out, the Rob Zombie film, and go see a movie this weekend. You know the deal. And get in those comments. I know you're going to tell us what you thought about the topics today, because you always do. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Chrysalie.
Thank you for having me, Amy Rose.
Nice to see you again. And thanks again for joining us, you lovely people out there. And we'll see you tomorrow. I don't know if the boss man will be here, but he'll definitely be here Monday. And we'll see you then. Mwah.